Hello there guys, it's Captain Invisible again here, and welcome to another Medieval 2 Total War Battle replay. This is a 2 versus 2, and I'm in command of the Turks this time, a faction that I've not had much luck with, so we're going to test them out and see how well I do in this battle. My ally for this battle is Igorkluza, in command of Hungary. I'm just going to call him Igor for this battle. I like saying the name Igor. It's quite a funny name to say, Igor. And our enemy, the opponents today are Gigidasha playing as the Moors, and CapitanPirk in command of the Byzantine Empire, so a very historical matchup between the Turks and the Byzantines. Gigidasha and CapitanPirk are good friends of mine. If you ever see them online, grab a quick battle with them because they are quite good players. So, just to go over my army, I've brought 4 units of Ottoman infantry with defence upgrades. A must-have for any Turkish army. I've got 2 units of the Sipahi Lancers, which are superior spearmen for the Turks, and then I've got 3 units of the Saracen militia, which are okay infantry, not great, not too bad. And then I've got an added Hashashim unit just in the back here, just to give my infantry a bit of a heavy infantry support. It's the only real heavy infantry the Turks can bring to battles. Otherwise they just bring loads of spearmen, which don't do too well against heavy infantry. To support my infantry, I've got 2 units of the Nafatoons. Again, another must-have for the Turks. They're going to help cause morale shock to the enemy and just basically be a pain in the ass. Target of priority as well. I've noticed a lot of players will want to kill the Nafatoons, and in doing so might trap their cavalry in engagements that are not favourable for them. Speaking of cavalry, I've got 2 units of these Sipahi Lancers. I've never tried them for the Turks before, so I'm going to give them a quick go. I don't know what I think of them as of yet, but they do quite well in this battle. And I've got 3 units of the Alan Light Cavalry. Again, a very good light cavalry for the Turks. The Turks seem to have lighter, more mobile cavalry than other factions, so they do quite well in that regard. And then a unit of General's Bodyguard with my General in. So we'll just take a quick sweep over of Igor's army. His missiles are these Bosnian archers. Not sure why he brought these guys, but they look quite cool. Some of them have these shields on their backs, which is quite amusing. And they are fairly cheap, so maybe he brought them simply because they were cheap. On his front lines, he's got 4 units of these Pavi spearmen. Again, they are superior spearmen. Very decent spearmen in terms of spearmen, but he shouldn't have brought 4. At maximum, I usually bring about 3 to support my missiles, but usually I only bring 2 because they're quite expensive and they're usually not worth it in terms of heavy infantry as far as infantry goes. Speaking of his infantry, he's got 4 units of the dismounted chivalric knights. Now, they're not as good as the dismounted feudal knights that Hungary can have, and that's to do with these shields. As cool as they look, the shield value of the chivalric knights for Hungary is lower than the standard chivalric knights, so it makes their stats slightly lower. But I think they look pretty cool. I like the armour on them, especially when they're not armour upgraded. So they are pretty cool, and it makes a nice change seeing these guys, and the shields look pretty cool as well. In the back here, he's got 2 units of the battlefield assassins. He's got in an early period general's bodyguard, and then some units of chivalric knights with 2 units of the Hungarian nobles in the back here, so some missile cav action going on. That's going to be quite interesting to see. As far as the chivalric knights go, I don't know whether this was a high period game actually, but if you ever fight in an all period battle, always bring the Royal Bandarium over the chivalric knights. They're just better, full stop. But it may have been a high period battle, so he may have had no choice but to bring the chivalric knights. So we'll just sweep over Gigidasha's army. He's got 4 units of the peasant crossbowmen, a very good missile component for the Moors. Certainly better than these Bosnian archers. They're going to really put down some fire on the Hungarian forces. He's got 2 units of spearmen, some dismounted Tuareg spearmen, and he's got a unit of desert archers here just hanging out in the centre. For the rest of his infantry, he's got a couple of urban militia, which I think are on the flanks without upgrades. This is what they'll look like without upgrades. And then he's got a centre of 4 units of the dismounted Christian Guard, a very strong infantry force. It's going to be tough for Hungary to crack that infantry. For cavalry, he's got 3 units of Christian Guard in the centre. He's got a unit of Tuareg camel spearmen backing them up. He's got his general's bodyguard, and then on this flank he's got a unit of the Grenadine Grenadiers. So a very nice bit of cavalry there. So just take a quick look at the Byzantines. So Capitan has brought 2 units of the Byzantine Guard archers and a unit of the Trebizond archers. So not as missile heavy as my army, but still a pretty potent missile force. He's brought 3 units of the Byzantine spearmen just to help defend his archers. Again, it's probably the maximum amount of spearmen you ever want to bring in an army, unless you are the Ottomans, in which case you have to kind of bring more. So for his infantry, he's got a line of Varangian Guard. Yep, his front line's made up of 4 Varangian Guard, and he's got a Latin-con on this side and a dismounted Latin-con on this side. So a very heavy shock centre with some more sturdy infantry on the flanks. Always a nice strategy to use, especially for the Byzantines, because the Varangian Guard are quite strong infantry. And then for cavalry, he's got a unit of cataphractoi here. He's got a Latin-con in the back, another unit of cataphractoi, and he's got 2 units of these Vaderatoi with General's Bodyguard. Again, I'm not too sure about these namings. Vadratia? Yeah, that's as close as I'm gonna get with that name, I'm afraid. So, without further ado, we shall start this battle. So, my obvious plan is to outshoot the Byzantines and either force him to react or shoot his army to death. So I'm going to move up to try and do that. I've got my Allen Light Cavalry on the flank just to counter his cavalry centred on his left flank, and then I've got my Sipahi Lancers just in the centre to counter any cavalry attacks off on my archers. My Spearmen are just going to hold the centre, and my Hashishim's going to hold the right flank. down this centre, or down the centre of me and my ally. So I'm just going to quickly move into position. Looks like my allies are just chilling out back here, quite happy to sit back and watch my fight, which I'm quite happy to do. If his archers will need to move forward to get into range, but I'm quite happy to sit back right here and pick off these peasant crossbowmen, as well as the Byzantine archers. So we're just skirmishing away. His Capitan's moved forward with all his missiles, and he's blobbed them all up here, which is not a great thing to do. I think he's realised his mistake and he's going to move them back and reposition them. But I'm going to send some cavalry to hopefully try and catch them, because they were quite far forward. And I do catch a couple of them, but he's going to react with some spearmen. So great reaction there. Spearmen definitely his archers were definitely well supported by spearmen there, so it was definitely a good move. And Gigidasha sent some cavalry forward to try and scare off my cavalry, which is successful. But I'm going to try to get a counter charge on them, because they moved quite far forward themselves. So his missile cavalry is going to fire at my cavalry as it came out, and I'm going to suffer some casualties on this Sipahi Lancer, but it's not too bad. I maybe lost about 7 men. Not too bad in that regard. So Igor's finally moved forward with his Bosnian archers. They are in tight formation, so they are going to suffer against these crossbowmen. But as you can see, a nice quick cheeky cavalry charge takes out these peasant crossbowmen almost. So a great use of the Hungarian nobles there to position them on this flank and then use them to charge. They are quite strong in melee as well, so they've really dealt a stinging blow to this peasant crossbowman unit, and it's forcing Gigidasha to have to react to him. And then these Hungarian nobles are going to quite happily shoot behind themselves and get some shots off on Gigidasha's army. So a nice move there by Igor. Definitely, I was surprised when I saw it. A very nice attack. So there's just some missile fire coming in. I'm just trying to whittle down these archers. As you can see, they've already suffered quite a lot of casualties, but it was to be expected. My Ottoman infantry are just a lot more powerful than these archers. They outnumbered them, and the Byzantine Guard archers were in tight formation anyway, but I think they're slightly worse than the Ottoman infantry. So we'll just check out Igor's side, because he seems to have more of the action. Looks like there's some. Looks like Gigidasha's trying to scare away these horse archers, but all he's going to do is get his men shot up as they're charging forward. He's not suffered too many casualties yet, but as soon as they turn around, they're going to get focused fire by these two archers, and there's even some chivalric knights coming in to hit these Christian Guard. So these chivalric knights got quite a nice charge on these Christian Guard, and it's going to be enough to hopefully win in this fight. Even if it isn't, a quick charge from these Hungarian nobles will surround these Christian Guard and rout them. So it looks like Igor's definitely got cavalry superiority on this flank. The chivalric knights are doing work on these isolated Moorish troops. So Gigidasha is going to have to reinforce this side with some more Christian Guard, which he does, and he does well. And he even gets these Turok camel spearmen in, which do scare horses. So if he left these guys in combat, these chivalric knights would get a morale penalty from that. So yeah, he's just still skirmishing away with his missile cavalry. These grenadier janitors just can't catch up to them, and they're suffering losses as they retreat back. So the cavalry fights made it all the way up here. It's kind of scattered now. The cavalry units are a bit all over the place, but it's made it all the way up to Igor's lines, and this is not a place the Moors really want to be. They're quite far away from any support. As you can see, it's going to take these Christian Guard a while to reach the rest of the Moorish cavalry, and he's going to get shots fired into his flank, and his cavalry is currently just getting surrounded and hacked to bits. So Igor's doing well with his cavalry fight, and the Moorish cavalry is just not going to be able to do much on that side. His Bosnian archers, they've held out quite well. I was quite surprised by the performance, and they've dealt quite a blow to the peasant crossbowmen actually. I mean, these two were taking fire from my Ottoman infantry as well, but yeah, he's dealt with them quite well. He's silenced those crossbowmen quite well with his Bosnian archers, so well played there, Igor. So the cavalry fight still rages on. I think this is all of the Moorish cavalry, and Igor still has some in reserve. So the cavalry fight is definitely going Igor's way. Speaking of cavalry fight, I missed a charge from these Latin con. They charged after my Ottoman infantry and caught them, but now they've been surrounded. They're going to rout fairly quickly. Again, without support, the cavalry fights are always going to go my way. He needs to support them with these heavier cav. So, seeing my cav advantage, so I just watched Gigidasha's general die. Seeing my cavalry advantage on this side, I'm going to take it by hitting these Latin con, catching them whilst they were not supported. And I'm going to send my cavalry all the way around this way and start to engage the enemy cavalry. I should have enough numbers down here to make a difference there, but these cataphractii are quite powerful, and they're just gonna rip this Allen Knight cav to shreds. I don't quite know what my other one was doing, but yeah, they're too powerful for my Allen Knight cav to deal with. So I decided to rush forward with my spearmen, just to get my Nafatoons into range. Seeing the cav fight is not going my way too much. It's best for me just to get my infantry in and use my cavalry to just support this flank. It looks like Igor's getting quite an advantage on this side. He's got more infantry focused on this point, and he's got his cavalry left, so he's going to do well on that side. I've even sent cavalry over to try and support, but they end up having a cav fight on this side. So all my spearmen have engaged, and this is the perfect time for my Nafatoons to start throwing their pots, doing some morale damage, and hopefully routing these bunched up units. I sent my Ottoman infantry in as infantry because it's in their name, and they do have swords, so they make good infantry reserves as well. So they're just going to hold the line whilst my Nafatoons do their damage with their pots. As you can see, my spearmen are not doing too well against these Varangian Guard, but all they need to do is hold out. The rest will be done by my cavalry and the Nafatoons. Sorry about the break, guys, in the recording, but my Hashashim are facing these spearmen and these Varangian Guard, which is a fight they'll do very well in. They're going to just take out some of these spearmen, get some nice close-up animations for you. As you can see, the 2 hit points are really helping them defend against these Varangian Guard, and they're just going to hack through these forces. So yeah, the Hashashim were a great pickup. I really do need more of them. So I've got his general tied up on his flank, and Igor's coming to assist from his side. It looks like he beat all of Gigidasha's infantry with not too many losses. He's got a handful of infantry left. So he did a good job on his side.
Victory is well within our grasp. In time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
Indeed. So yeah, it may have just been because he won the cavalry fight on the flank. Gigidasha moved up way too far with his cavalry and got it stuck in fights on the flank that it really didn't need to be in. And it allowed Igor to then use his cavalry to hit Gigidasha's flanks and rear. So yeah, it's an honest mistake to be made. Yeah, you can have a bad day and it can turn into an unfortunate battle for you. As I say, it's not like Gigidasha to lose. He's a really good player, but as I say, we all have those games where we struggle. I'm sure you've seen some of my losses. I've posted on my channel, and I've had so many more losses on my channel. It's quite amusing how much I actually lose compared to how much I upload. But yeah, I just like trying new things out and new tactics and things. And the Turks are one of my new
general lies dead. Now his men can sense their doom upon them.
Yes, sorry, the advisors just interrupted me a little bit. The Turks are my new project that I'm working on, trying to work out a way to use them properly. So I routed all of the rest of Capitan's army, and it's just these Varangian Guard holding strong on this flank, still holding off units, but after being surrounded, they break and they rout. So definitely the Varangian Guard are a strong elite unit for the Byzantines. It's just a shame about the two-hander bug affecting their results, because they are a really strong unit to bring, and they should be better at what they do. So these Vardaratai, that's as close as I'm going to get to pronouncing their name, are back here wreaking havoc. So I'm going to charge my Sipahis into them and try and get a few kills on them. My Sipahis are going to do quite well in this battle, or this fight should I say. The morale of these Byzantine cav are already fairly weak, and my Sipahi lancers are made for fighting light cavalry like this.
The victory both righteous and well deserved. It cannot be said otherwise.
So that was the battle. All the enemy units have been killed or routed, so we shall check the results. I got 653 kills and 76 captures. That's probably a record for the Byzantines for me. I've not done that well with them in the past. Only a couple of battles won with them, and this is one of them, and it shows in the results. So yeah, I'm surprised by the result. It was a good one from the Turks. Igor got 604 kills and 185 captures, so he did really well. I didn't expect that from him, so he's certainly put his name on my radar. If I ever see him again, I know that he's a fairly good player. Gigidasha getting 595 kills and 5 captures, so not doing too bad against Igor. But yeah, he unfortunately lost the cavalry fight, which lost him his battle. And then CapitanPirk getting 493 kills and 57 captures, so he did quite well. I mean, all the players in this battle were quite skilled. They obviously knew the game, and they did quite well in their respective fights. But it's just we just claimed it by a couple of hundred kills, so it was a close battle otherwise. But me and Igor managed to pull through. So in terms of the casualties inflicted, this unit of CP Lancers definitely got the most kills, 105. It must have been running strikes on the enemy's rear and against exposed infantry, so that unit did well. My Allen Light Cav didn't do too well. There was one that was versing Cataphractoid, it may have been this one, and the other ones just got surrounded by the missile cav and defeated. As I say, my CP Lancers did better, so I may bring more of them in the future. My Ottoman infantry are doing as good as they always do, getting quite a few kills. Very reliable unit to bring for the Turks. My spearmen not doing too well. I kind of expected that because spearmen don't do well in infantry fights, so I'm a little disappointed by them. But yeah, it's to be expected. My Naftoons not getting too many kills, but they're there for morale anyway, so it doesn't really matter how many kills they get as long as they rout the enemy, which I think they were doing quite well. They didn't get attacked by enemy cav or anything, so I managed to keep them alive long enough for them to do their job. And then the unit of Hashashim getting 58 kills just with that one unit, so it's quite a reliable unit for the Turks. I may have to bring more of them to future battles just to have them be that sort of heavy infantry support for my spearmen, because they definitely need it. So yeah, in future battles I may bring them. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey with the Turks. They are an interesting faction. I hear a lot of people saying that they're their favourite faction, but they are hard to play, and I agree with that because they don't have access to lots of heavy infantry like other factions do. They have pretty good missiles, but they're not. The problem with archers in this game is they don't do too well against Padvy's crossbowmen, which if you've seen my previous battle, you'll know by watching that they don't do too well. I explain it in that battle. But yeah, they have some decent tools. You know, these light cav are quite nice. But their heavy cav is quite expensive as well. The Kapakulu. So that weakens them in that regard as well. So they are a really hard faction to play as. But if you play them right, you'll do really well. So yeah, thank you very much for viewing the battle, guys, and don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next battlefield. Thank you.